Good evening. Welcome to the Hidden Agenda. Now that we have a name for this podcast, we'll keep trying to use that there as we go along. Um, I probably should let some people jump in here before we get too far along. Generally, to give everybody a few minutes, and we're kind of late starting. Um, had some technical difficulties trying to work on, so y'all bear with us. Let me take it. I'm gonna get logged in. Here we go. Wow. Alrighty. Alrighty. We're starting to get some people to log in here to the video. We'll give it a couple more minutes and we'll get started on this here. I know we probably won't have a big audience this evening, more so tomorrow morning. I'm sure people will probably pick up. I know Gordon's doing
Yeah, I saw that.
his meet and greet tonight. Yeah, oh yeah, now we're starting to jump up some. All right, we'll give it a couple more minutes and then we'll get in here and get started. Just try to get caught up. I'm going to see if there is. Just going to double check the post to see if there's any questions here. Nope. All right, we got quite a few people got on now. When we get over 20, we're kind of happy with that. All righty. Again, welcome to the Hidden Agenda. This is the new name we've got for the podcast. I kind of had a few people message me like, "Can you come up with something better than podcast?" Well, yeah, I guess I wasn't being too original with that. So, anyway, we're welcoming Candi Davis here. She is running for alderman in position 4. Who she's running against, her opposition is Fred Ellis, who's the incumbent, Jack Johnson, and Donna Ross. Now, we had Donna Ross in here last Thursday, so again, we sent out invitations again today. Invited Fred. Have not heard anything back from him, so no clue if he's coming on. I did talk with Jack Johnson in text this morning, and he's thinking about coming on. So we'll see if he decides to join in on it. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to turn this over to Candi for a minute and let her give you kind of a short bio of who she is, and then from there we'll get into some questions, and then we'll let Candi finish it up with her sales pitch for why you should vote for her. So over to you, Candi.
Well, I've lived in Henderson County, city of Lexington, since I was 1 year old. Started out in Waltersville, moved to the city, moved back to the county, back to the city. Went to Beaver Elementary School, Lexington High School. From there, went to Jackson State Community College, got an Associate of Applied Science degree, went to work in healthcare. A few years ago, went back to school, got an associate's degree in liberal arts, and I also got a bachelor's degree of science in medical laboratory science. I was a volunteer firefighter for a few years before I had children. I've got 3 children. They went to Bargerton School, Lexington High School. Now they're 2 of them are going into college this year. One of them's graduated from MTSU. Let's see. I volunteered at the animal shelter here, Francis Hensley Animal Shelter, for about 5 years. Every Saturday morning I got up and went and cleaned all the cat cages. I still help out with our fundraisers, the Mutt Strut being the main one. Actually was kind of my idea. It started out with a suggestion of a 5K as a fundraiser, and with the director at that time, we just started brainstorming and came up with the Mutt Strut and Palooza, and just kind of went from there. I usually go around every year to businesses and collect sponsorships, and I guess that's about it. I've been attending the city and county meetings for a little over a year and a half. Just been watching how things go. It's a little frustrating seeing how property taxes get raised when money's needed, especially with the city. My mom, she's a retired senior citizen. She lives on a fixed income. She does not own a home, but she rents. So every time the property taxes increase, her rent increases. And with her being on a fixed income, she doesn't have the extra money to pay the extra rent. So it's tight on her. And when attending these meetings, there's several senior citizens that go up there and plead, and they're in the same situation. And some of them own homes, and they fear that they'll lose their homes. And that really prompted me to start looking into running. And I just feel like maybe I can get in there and do some good. I'm just a regular citizen, don't know much about politics, but I'm ready to get in there and give it a shot.
All righty. I'm replying to some comments we already got. Uh, Oops, I just screwed up. Let me take and see if I can edit that right quick there. Be right back with you. Replying. There we go. All righty. Well, let's get started with some questions. We've got questions that's kind of we've asked the other candidates, and we're going to go ahead and go along with these here. And we've kind of got to the point where we've kind of done some synopsis of these questions to avoid the redundancy. But the first question we're asking, because we get this asked quite often: which political party policies do you align with?
I don't call myself one or the other. Mainly, I vote with whoever has the same beliefs that I believe in. I'm conservative. I generally wind up going more with Republicans just because their beliefs are and values are usually in line with the way I believe.
All righty. Transparency. Do you plan on being more transparent than if you win the election than your predecessor?
Oh, yes. With the agendas, I think it's crazy that they don't receive these until Friday before the meeting. I think that they should receive them a week before the meeting. Give them a chance to look over the packets, post it on Facebook or talk to the citizens. Give them a chance to see what is going to be discussed, and let the citizens ask questions. So when the aldermen get together, they have things to discuss and get answers for the citizens. I don't think you need to go in there after a weekend and start voting on things if you don't have all of the answers.
I agree with that. I'm gonna tell you, I've seen some of these packets these guys get in. 120 pages, and they have a weekend in addition to having a job and a life and everything, and then have to go in and make a vote on that without even time to really digest the information or do any research or get, as you're saying, getting information from the constituents. I mean, how can you represent someone when you can't share the information and ask their opinion on it?
Yeah, I can't make an educated vote after only having a weekend to look at something like that.
I agree with you on that. All righty. Vehicles. The question here is pretty much, what do you think can be done or needs to be done about all of the city employees that get vehicles to drive home every night, many seen at businesses after hours and on weekends?
Yeah, that rubs me the wrong way too. The ones that are on call, I'm fine with them taking those home because if they get called out, they're able to immediately respond. The ones in administration, they do not need to take home vehicles. They're not going to go out and fix a broken pipe in the middle of the night. Those vehicles need to stay, well, really, they don't even need vehicles. Just the other day, I saw someone in administration late in the evening driving one of the utilities vehicles. I don't think that at that time that they were really on company business. It was past business hours, and they weren't in the area where there would be businesses anyway. Now, as far as law enforcement, I'm fine with them taking vehicles home. I like having vehicles. I like having the police vehicles in my subdivision. Now, when they're off duty, I don't think they need to be running around and running errands in them. But, having them parked at their house, I'm fine with that. But no, I don't think anyone else needs to be driving public vehicles around unless it's actually business purposes.
All right. Some of the vehicles being purchased, one of the, instead of work grade vehicles, we're seeing, I think one of the questions, one of the things that's pointed out here was higher packages. I think I think the initial comment here was they actually, some of the vehicles have air conditioned seats. I don't have air conditioned seats in my vehicle. I'd certainly love to have it, especially this time of the year, come in handy. But I don't have it. Are we wasting money on vehicles with higher end packages than what we need?
Yes. You only need the vehicle to do the job it needs to do. I mean, as long as you have air conditioning and heat in the vehicle and it can get you from point A to point B and carry whatever supplies you need, that's all you need. You do not need heated and ventilated seats. You do not need a heated steering wheel. I'm sorry, you don't need all those luxuries. That's a luxury vehicle.
Agreed. We certainly don't need it. Alrighty. I know you were at the meeting. When Alderman Rhodes asked about, see if I make sure I got this correctly. Last year during the budget cycle, the aldermen were told that there was money to give raises in the utilities department. And there was a letter that was sent out by the state. Well, the aldermen eventually got that in their package. And that letter stated that the city was net negative in the utilities department. Alderman Rhodes asked Utilities Director Justin Roach 3 or 4 times why was he told that, but he deflected every single time, and Alderman Rhodes never got an answer. Do you feel the department head should be reprimanded for providing false information, and like in this scenario here, and for failing to answer questions an alderman posed?
Definitely. I'm a pit bull when it comes to answering my questions, and I wouldn't let go. I would have kept on with Justin until he gave me an answer. And once finding out that he did lie, yes, I would have written it up and it would have went in his personnel file.
All right. This year the employees got another raise, and I think over the last 4 years, cumulative total's been around about 23% in raises. Do you know of any other industries given that type of raises?
No, I haven't had a raise in 2 years.
You're in healthcare, right?
I'm in healthcare, yes. You know, I understand people need raises. That's a lot as far as raises go. And I don't like the across-the-board raises. There are people who work hard and are good workers, and I think they should be rewarded for being a good worker. The ones that just do what they have to do to get by, I'm sorry, they don't need that kind of a raise. They don't need a raise at all. In fact, there might be some that we could possibly eliminate jobs and save even more money. But no, I don't agree with all the across-the-board raises, these COLAs.
All right, and that kind of answers I guess, the next question in here. Instead of everything is a percentage raise right now. as opposed to merit-based. You're more in line with the merit-based type things.
I prefer merit-based. I prefer to reward somebody for their work.
How do you view the city's money management in the last 5 years?
Not good. I mean, I've looked over some budgets, and it's so hard to decipher, and there's so many areas where there's such a large amount of money and it's not specifically designated for something, and it looks to me that it just leaves the area open where department heads can move money around without having to go to the board for approval. And I don't like that. I feel like when it's a matter of a large amount of money, that they should come to the board and they should seek approval for that before they go making those changes.
All righty. Last year, Mayor Griggs asked for a 74-cent property tax increase, and one of your opposition, the incumbent, Fred Ellis, actually made the motion to approve the 74-cent tax increase. I believe Roger Lofton gave a second, and it did pass on the first reading. Eventually, the tax rate got down to 17 cents is what the property tax increase was last year, which left about $1.5 million short based on the value of a penny between 17 cents and 74 cents. Why do you think he didn't ask for a property tax increase this year when he did last year, and we were still left $1.5 million on the table?
Yeah, and we didn't. What happened to us needing all of that money? You know, last year we were going to have to cut funding to the museum, but we didn't hear anything about that this year. It's an election year, and even though the mayor's not running for mayor, but he is running for alderman, so it looks really good to not raise taxes and not give any raises.
I'm going to go off script a little bit on this here, from these questions here, and I'm going to ask you one here. Do you feel that there's going to be a need for a property tax increase next year based on the fact that they gave more raises this year, which is going to be a recurring cost, and they have to figure out a way to pay for it?
If they keep spending the way they are, but I'm not going to vote for one. I feel like if we get down in the budget, that we can find ways to cut and save money. For instance, with the vehicles being taken home. If we park a lot of the vehicles that do not need to be taken home, that's going to save on gas. That's going to save on maintenance. If we look at, I mean, one of the things I would like to have is a complete.
Alrighty. Yeah, it looks like it's freezing up a little bit here. Y'all catching anything? No. My notification's gone. Let's see what we got here. See if we can continue this here. Okay, so tell me we've got no sound. Alright. Give me just 1 second here. What's that? It does? Okay, alright. But it's still showing up. How far back are we right now? Okay, alright. Alright, I guess we're good now. We had some buffering issues there. Sorry, technical issues. Thank you guys for chiming in here to let us know that we're back up on it. We appreciate that there. Sometimes we don't catch stuff except for when we get a notification. Alrighty.
Carrying on with that, one other thing that I would like to do if I get elected, I want each department head to give me a list of all their vehicles and all their heavy equipment, and I want VIN numbers, and I want to go see all these vehicles and compare the VIN numbers and make sure that what they're giving me is really what they have. I don't like that I have just one meeting a month to be given the information. I want to see everything and put my hands on it. And then that way, when they ask for a replacement, I'll know what they're talking about, and I want to go see what they're wanting to replace. I want to see the condition it's in. I want to see why they're wanting to replace it. I just want more validity instead of just sitting there in a boardroom and taking their word for it. I want to make sure that what I'm giving the taxpayer money to them for is really legit and really needed.
All righty. I thought I had seen another question up here, but apparently I did not. And it's showing all comments, and I don't see one in here. I thought we did have one. Well, I guess that's not in there. All righty. I don't know what the heck. All righty. Last question I had on this other list was, what is your perception of how local elected officials treat the people they represent?
With the exception of a few, I feel like they're out of touch. During the meetings, I do not see a lot of eye contact with the citizens when they're up there talking. And even when they are talking, it just doesn't seem like they're really paying attention. It's more like they've got their mind made up on what they want to do, and it doesn't matter what you say, they're going to do it.
That's I've noticed that for a long time. Kind of why I started attending these meetings here, so I can pay more attention to it. Alrighty, we're getting past the question list. I do want to talk to you about things that I hear from people, and things that I talk to other candidates about, and they tell me they're hearing from the people. Property taxes. Where do you stand on property taxes?
I do not like property taxes. I know they're necessary, but this is ridiculous how they're continually raising property taxes because of mismanaged money. They shouldn't be going to the citizens every single time that they can't balance the budget. I live on a budget, and when I can't afford something, then I don't get it. I live by my budget. I make it out, and if there's something I want and I can't afford it, then I start putting money aside and saving for it. If I have some extra money left over, I don't go out and spend it. I'll put it back, save it, build up an emergency fund. If I've got my emergency fund saved up, then if there's something I want, I'll put my money towards that. But I'm just let the property tax be, and let's not be raising it anymore. And I would like, I don't know if it's possible, but I would like to freeze property taxes for senior citizens that are retired. They've paid their dues. They're retired now.
Amen.
Let's give them a break.
Yeah. If not, we never own. We just don't own anything. The government owns it. We just lease it from them.
Yeah.
And until the day you die, I mean, at what point do we ever have true freedom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you on that there. Utility rate increases, which we've had some substantial utility rate increases over the years. I mean, and there's been continual increases across the board. I know there was in a meeting, there was some discussion about, I believe Gordon Wildridge had shared that he had talked with Michael Harper, who was the previous utilities manager, and that there was supposed to be a set increase that never came about. And of course, in the next meeting, I believe that somebody argued with Gordon that yes, those raises did come about. Well, when we went back into the audits, which we assume the audits are factual and not just nothing manufactured there, what Michael Harper had shared with Gordon Woodward was correct. There was not the raises that were supposed to go in there, incremental raises, and which, of course, caused a big jump. But anyway, we've got these utility rate increases. We've got new people being hired in the utilities department. And you're on Hayelton, right? Aren't you a moderator?
Yes.
Okay. I know I've seen posts up there. I've had people on their personal page. I've had people call me about it. Just probably here in the last week or so, people are complaining about brown water.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So we're seeing this, and I'm seeing this all over the place. It's not in one area. And for some odd reason, they're sending people out to go look at people's water. I mean, if you've got an issue like that there that's in different parts of the county, I can't believe it's isolated incidents. That's a coincidence. I don't buy it. So my question here is, do you think we're paying more rates and getting less service from the utilities department?
Definitely. I know the excuse is they're flushing lines, but they're not flushing the lines at 7, 8 o'clock at night. They're not flushing the lines until people start complaining. But, we shouldn't be paying, we're paying what, an extra $6.50 a month for water now?
I think it's around $18 if you're a city resident for a total.
Well, I've got a total of $16.80 a month for city residents for gas, sewer, and water.
Plus tax.
Well, plus tax, yeah, that's
So
right.
we're right around about $18.
I don't expect to turn on my tap and have dirty water coming out if I'm going to pay that much more money. I shouldn't.
Agreed. Well, to quote the mayor, don't you want your toilet to flush? When I've heard that excuse is the reason for giving, and we got to take care of our people a million times. And I remember when the garbage rates went up. You remember when our trash pickup rates went up? Mm-hmm. I believe after that happened, that there was some citizens complaining that Public Works was not picking up people's trash that they had set out by the curb. Not necessarily trash cans, but the stuff that they were using the grappling hook for. Mm-hmm. And the mayor addressed the Public Works director and said, you're getting more money. You can't decrease your services. And apparently that's something that's happening.
Well, just in my neighborhood, about 2 weeks ago, one resident, she had her garbage can at the end of the road on the curb, or at the end of the drive on the curb, like she's supposed to. The garbage truck come by, they picked up all of ours, they left hers. What's up with that? But I want my toilet to flush, but when I've been working out in the yard and I'm sweaty and dirty, I don't want to get in my shower and shower with dirty water.
No, what's the point of it?
Right.
And you got to comment here. Like the idea of no property tax for seniors who are retired. I'm with Martha on that one there. All righty, we've gotten into property tax and utility rates. Raises is another big thing that I hear about from people quite often. Where do you stand on that? I know you touched earlier on it.
Well, I feel as much as they've gotten recently, if we're in a bind, it would be okay to go a year without a raise. Just like this last budget, Fred was trying to get the extra 2% for the employees that did not get it. the last time around to even everything up for everybody. Uh, and then Roger was pushing for the extra COLA. We didn't need the extra COLA. I mean, they already had received, how much was it?
5% last year, I think, total.
Yeah,
Is that what it ended up being?
8.7% in 22-23, 6.9% in 23-24, then 3% in 24-25, and then an extra 2%.
Yeah, so now it actually comes up to 5% for that.
5%, yeah.
That's what they raised it.
Um,
And then we got another 3% raise this year.
yeah, so, you know, we could lay off of the raises for just a little bit. And then, of course, like I said, I don't think they need to be across the board. I mean, I'm sorry, everybody's not doing the same amount of work, and everybody's job is not the same. I mean, and I'm in healthcare, but just because I work alongside all these other people, we all don't have an even amount of pay. You know, we're not all even. The utilities, the electric, the waste, I mean, they all have a different job. They all don't have to be even.
Agreed. And I keep hearing that push so much, and I know they try to use the electric system as the benchmark. And the electric system's kind of a different animal because if we're being honest about it, the electric system is more governed by TVA, and TVA has their act together a lot better than what our local government does.
Well,
So, and they're profitable.
and if you look at it, their job working with electricity is a little bit higher risk.
Oh yeah, and the time frame for them, you get a lineman. These guys have got apprentice. They've got to go. They spend a lot of time to get to the point.
Yes.
And yes, you know, and now you kind of skewed into. I'm going to get into a salary survey that we had that was removed. I don't know. This is probably 3 or 4 years back. I had a couple of the linemen contact me. This is when I was, I don't know, maybe a year into the Facebook to the taxpayers page, and they asked for help about their salaries, and they told me that they were being underpaid in comparison to some of the markets or surrounding areas. Well, and I know Jeff Graves did the same thing. He did not hire an engineering firm. He didn't spend $30,000+ having a salary survey study done that didn't even really have like markets compared to us. But we're top heavy in other departments that we shouldn't be top heavy, and we hadn't had that problem in the past. And all of a sudden, it's just like this hiring. I think it was 11 people a couple of years ago, and they used the money used part of the ARPA funds, the COVID money, to hire those people. And I think this was before you were attending meetings, but they used part of the ARPA money, one-time money that we received, to hire people, and
Recurring cost.
recurring costs. But now we're stuck with having to pay for that there, and that was adding 11 new employees. Now, granted, one of them I think was 2 police officers, but they were getting a grant money to cover them for X amount of years. Well, I think it was either 3 or 5 years. Well, once that's over, now we still got those salaries, and on top of that, there, I want to ask you: you're in healthcare. What's your insurance like? Your health insurance?
Oh, I share in the cost.
Okay, you sharing the cost for you
Yes.
by yourself.
For me, for my family.
That's it's 100% for the employee and 60% for the
Well,
family.
that's another thing that I would like to discuss to save the taxpayers' money. You know, we could let the employees share in the cost of their health care.
I mean, it happens everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
you're in healthcare.
I
and you have
don't
to share
know
in the
many
cost.
places where you get 100% paid for by your employer. I mean, yeah, right. I'm in healthcare. My employer pays about 60% of my health care.
You get 100% of yours? Nope. And You're in healthcare too? I mean, that's Candy's husband Will's with us, just to let you guys know. I invited him to come hang out, and he's in healthcare, and he doesn't get 100% of his insurance paid either. So there's, you know, all right, okay, all right, we're good, all right. So we just had some buffering issues there. Sorry about that. I do want to jump over. We got a question here from Bobby Kilmeck. I hope I said that right, Bobby. Um, Sorry for the long post. Full disclosure: I'm moving to Henderson County this fall, about 15 minutes from Lexington. But I'd like to know what's going on with where I will be spending my money. For those with city vehicles, do they also have credit cards to charge gas, or are they specific businesses where they can charge gas? Or there's, if so, are those charges being audited? In my hometown, a volunteer firefighter had a credit card and continued to use it for 4 years after he retired. Wow. Um,
I know with the fire department, when I was on the fire department, we had a code and we used the gas station right over here. It used to be Shell, I think. But there was one specific gas station. Of course, that was a long time ago. I mean, that was over, well, let's see, my oldest child's 20, almost 23, so it's been a while.
that's a good question, Bobby, and we'll have to dig into that one there. I can tell you, I have seen city and county vehicles, especially law enforcement vehicles and fire vehicles, there's a Shell station right up here on Church Street. It's right on the Court Square here. There's a fuel dock to the right there that's kind of independent of the rest of the docks. I guess that's where they got the diesels.
That's where the fire department used to go as well.
And I think there has to be gas over there because I've seen police cars over there as well, and those are gas burners. Yeah, we'll definitely look into that there and see if we can get some information and shoot me a message when you get a chance. Just tag and hit the message line, and I'll get a conversation going with you and see if we can get you some answers on that. And thank you for chiming in, and welcome to Henderson County. It's not perfect here, we got some issues, but for the most part, we got some outstanding people here. I'm not a lifelong resident like Candi. I've been here, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 years, somewhere in there. I have made some wonderful, wonderful friends. I met some wonderful people. It's just when I see things wrong with government, I just feel it's my civic duty to take a stand. Alrighty. I'm kind of at the point of running out of questions here, and I guess we can quit chewing the fat a little bit. I'm going to turn this over to you and let you make your sales pitch and ask for people to vote for you. And I'm going to take and grab me another water while you're doing that.
Okay, well, listening to Gordon Tuesday night, I'm in alignment with a lot of what he said. I do agree that we should be trying to save money. We should not be trying to spend all the money in the budget. If we have extra, we need to be putting that back. I do want to see a financial statement every month. I also want to make that public for everyone to see. As I touched on the merit raises, I don't like the COLA raises. I do want that inventory list with all the serial numbers on all the heavy equipment, the vehicles. I want to see all of the vehicles and verify that what they give me is correct. When they want something replaced, I want to see it, and I want to know why they want it replaced, what's going on with it. As well, I want the list of employees, positions, salaries, full-time, part-time, to make sure that we don't have a lot of duplicate positions going on. Make sure that we're spending our money wisely as far as employees go. I want the agenda packet to be given to the board at least a week before the meetings. That way we can go over it, share it with you. That way you can ask questions. we can either find the answers to the questions before the meeting, or at the meeting, we can find the question or find the answers then, but I want you to be aware of what's being discussed and what's going on before the meetings. I do want to review the take-home policy on all of the vehicles and make sure that the ones that do take them home truly need to take them home. And then I want answers as far as like the parking lot that got paved at City Hall. Why did it get paved when our roads are so bad? Why did the TDOT contract expire with the city? Why are we having this brown water when we're paying more for our water now? Another thing I'd like to know is, why did the city stop using Dr. Davis for the strays? It seemed like things were going pretty good, and he even added extra kennels when he moved his office, and then suddenly the city stopped using him. I would like to know what happened with that. Animals are a passion of mine. Like I said, I am involved with the animal shelter. I'm against euthanasia unless the animal is severely injured or sick, and it's just, that's the best for the animal. But that is one thing I would like to work on, is the animal control issue. And I would also like to let you know that I'm not accepting any financial contributions. I did not plan or budget to run for office. Therefore, I don't have any money set aside for campaign material. So you won't be seeing signs and cards or flyers or anything. I'm relying solely on social media, meeting people, hopefully maybe be having some meet and greets. I'm recovering from a broken foot. I've still got quite a bit of a limp, but I am going to try to get out and go door to door and meet some people and just talk to you. I do have a Facebook page, Candi Davis for Alderman. I have an email, Davis, the number 4, alderman @gmail.com. And you can call me or text me on my cell phone. It's 731-307-8962. I'll repeat that. It's 731-307-8962. Any concerns you want to talk to me about, anything you want to know from me, I'll be glad to talk to you. I've got a little notebook. I'm logging everything that people are concerned about. So if I am elected, then I will be able to address those concerns. Like I said, as far as not having a budget for this, I'm going to treat the city's budget the same way that I treat my budget. And so if the city doesn't have the money for something, then I'm not going to vote for the city to spend the money. Just like if I don't have the money for something, I don't spend the money for it. And I would greatly appreciate your support and your vote.
All righty. Got another question I'll get to in just a second. Ryan Burton, appreciate clarifying that there. Pacific Pride is what's up here at the fast stop. What used to be the Shell station up here on the corner by the whatchamacallit. And I'm assuming that that's a fleet fuel, that's the county and the city are probably doing the same thing that
I think so.
A lot of trucking organizations do. Appreciate that there, Ryan. Penny has asked, what's the most important problem you want to see addressed if you are elected?
The most important problem. Straightening out the budget. Saving the taxpayers' money. no more property tax rate increases. The budget is the most important to me.
Okay. That's that's a pretty important one. Let me see here if I got.
But they're all still pretty important.
Yeah, that's the truth. Alrighty, well, I guess we got all of our questions out there. With Candi, there was no, I couldn't ask her anything on her voting record because Candi doesn't have one at this point.
I'm not corrupted.
Yeah, that's sometimes the best experience is a lack of experience. And I know that's some of you guys get in here and worry about things like that. 'Cause I get these calls. And yeah, I'll tell you, when I first got in here, I didn't have experience with doing the things that I did. And I listened. And this is something I had a politician tell me. I listened, and I took people for face value. And as I got more and more in depth and getting into it and digging into it and paying a lot more attention, I come to find out that their intent was not genuine. So I had to have a learning curve, and I don't think that there's any difference between that and becoming a new alderman, commissioner, or whatever. You have a learning curve. I think one of the biggest things is to find resources outside of the local network. With the city, I mean, you've got MTAS as an organization that you can pick up the phone and call and talk to them. There's other organizations, the state comptroller, you can pick up the phone and call. And as a politician, a sitting politician, you get a lot further along than what we do as citizens. But yeah, I think I've had that question broached to me about experience.
And I do want to clarify one thing, though. I say I'm not corrupted. I'm not inferring that any of the politicians here running are corrupted in no way. It's just when you hear people talk about politics, the general consensus is politics, corruption. That's why I say it. But I am no way insinuating that any candidates, any sitting board members are corrupted.
Right. And you're right. It's just a generalization and conversation is what kind of happens there. All right. Well, I guess that's about it. This is we're gonna log off and be done with this edition of the Hidden Agenda. I kind of like that name.
I do like that.
We have a friend of ours that's actually working on doing a video audio thing for us to put up, and before we actually come on, we'll actually let that run for 2 or 3 minutes and allow people to get logged on before we turn on, instead of sitting here waiting and you have to look at us doing absolutely nothing for 3 or 4 minutes. But we're working on that there. We're trying to grow, and we're trying to get some better equipment here a little bit at a time. We've got budgets too, so we can't just go out and buy all this high dollar equipment. Can't afford to buy a studio or anything to be in, so we work in a grooming shop after hours. But thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, if you have any more questions, put them in here in the comment section. Candi will come back and take a look at them, and she'll answer them for you. And nothing else, send her a message. I'm sure she'll be happy to answer any questions you got.
Yep.
Well, thank you for coming on, and you guys have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next time around.
Bye.